fraction number string using the clock model. We haven't done one of these in a while as a class, and it's one of the moments in math that I miss the most because I miss hearing your ideas and I miss hearing the different ways you arrive at your solutions. So today's gonna go a little differently. I'm gonna write the equation on the board, and then I want you to pause the video right after I write it to give yourself that think and wait time that you need to evaluate the equation. Then once you have your answer, press play again and check your answer against mine. If you solved a different way, but still we came to the same solution, excellent. Drop your solution on the bottom and explain to me how you did it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so we're gonna get started. So the purpose of doing fraction number strings using a clock model is that it allows us to think about unit fractions in terms of a whole number, or in this case, minutes, and then convert those whole numbers back into fractions, especially fractions with unlike denominators. So we're gonna get started just by filling in some of our basic equivalencies. And what you told me was that they were 60 minutes in an hour. So in this case, 60 minutes is equal to 1 whole. From there, we discussed that 30 minutes is equivalent to 1/2 an hour. Then we have 20 minutes, which is equivalent to 1/3 of an hour. And then from there, we talked about how 10 minutes is equivalent to 1/6 of an hour. And I'm trying to think if I forgot any. Let me just check my notes. We had 15 minutes is equivalent to 1/4 of an hour. And then 5 minutes is equivalent to 1/12 of an hour. So these are all of the discoveries we made at the beginning of the clock model lessons. Keeping in mind that there are 2 groups of 30, 3 groups of 20, 6 groups of 10, 4 groups of 15, 12 groups of 5 in an hour. So we're gonna get started now that we have that done. Here comes our first problem. 1/2 plus 1/3. Go ahead and pause the video now. So we know from looking at our key and what we know about it that the unit fraction 1/2 is equivalent to 30 minutes. And we also know that the unit fraction 1/3 is equivalent to 20 minutes, and that equals 50 minutes. Now to convert that back into a fraction, we know that it's 50 minutes out of the whole, which is 60. And we can simplify that to 10/12. It can be simplified more, but we're gonna work within what our key says today, okay? All right, moving on, our next problem is 1/6 plus 1/2. Pause the video now so that way you can solve. I'm taking a look at these unit fractions. 1/6 is equivalent to 10 minutes. 1/2 equivalent to 30 minutes. We add those together, that equals 40 minutes total. We take that 40 and we put it over the total minutes, which is 60. And again, we can simplify that to 8/12. All right, problem number 3 gets a little bit more difficult. We are going to up the difficulty level. Hopefully you're starting to remember what we worked on. I know you will. So here we have 1/6 plus 3/12 plus 1/4 equals. All right. Pause here. So from our last couple of problems, we know that 1/6 is equivalent to 10 minutes. And we can take a look at our key. If 1/12 is equivalent to 5 minutes, how many minutes are equivalent to 3/12? So it'd be 3 groups of 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 5, which would be 15. And we also know that 1/4 is equivalent to 15 minutes. There are 4 groups of 15 within an hour. So we are going to add that together as well. So here we have 15 plus 15 is 30, and 30 plus 10 would be 40. And to turn that back into a fraction, 40 is your numerator and 60 will be your denominator. And we can simplify that or reduce it to 8/12 again. Did you notice that these two are almost exactly the same? The answer is that is. How we got there was a little different though. All right, next one, we have 2 more for today and then we're done. So 1/6 plus 1/4 plus 7/12. Go ahead and pause it here. And just like our last 2 problems, we know that 1/6 is equivalent to 10 minutes. We also know that 1/4 is equivalent to 15 minutes. We're using these problems up here to help us, using what we already know to help us solve this one. And if 3/12 is equivalent to 15 minutes, 7/12 will be that 7 groups of 5. So we could do 7 times 5, which would equal 35. If we add all of these up, that'd be 25. 10 plus 15 is 25, and 25 plus 35 is 60. And as we know from our key, 60 is 1 whole. So 60 is equivalent to 1 whole hour. And for our last problem today, 3/4 plus 2/12. Go ahead and pause it here. Try and use what we know about the clock model to solve this one on your own, if you haven't already. So 3/4, if we know that the unit fraction 1/4 is equivalent to 15 minutes, 3 groups of 15 will be 45. We also know that the unit fraction 1/12 is equivalent to 5 minutes. So 2 groups of 12 will be 10. 45 plus 10 is 55. And to convert that back into its equivalent fraction, 55 out of 60. And to reduce that, it'll be 11/12. So here are our answers. I'm going to give them a little circle. I hope you enjoyed doing this fraction string with me today. Make sure that you leave your own explanations in the comments, and I look forward to doing this again. I miss you guys a lot, and I miss our math talks and our math discussions, and can't wait to get to do them with you again. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.